Do you want to get some pre-pod chatter in? Do you want to finish your thought? I don't even know what we were talking about.
We were talking about saving it all for the pod.
We were talking about...
I don't want to have to talk to you more than I have to.
I was saying that if my dad ever started telling me that he loved me, I'd be like, can you actually save that for the pod?
This is really good
This is
content.
really good. The followers are going to love this.
Yeah, I think so. How many followers does your dad have?
I mean, he sponsors like 10 people in AA, so he's kind of killing it on the market.
Yeah.
In New Jersey, in terms of AA sponsors, he's kind of Kim Kardashian of
It's
sponsors.
like when you ask an influencer, like, oh, are you working with sponsorship? He's like, absolutely.
He's like, I am the sponsorship.
It's like, I'm actually too deep in it.
Welcome to Hot and Single, the podcast, episode 2. I'm Stef Dag, your flirty spirit guide. I don't know if you're allowed to say that anymore.
Yeah.
You can?
I don't know.
Oh, you don't know. Okay, well, I'm so excited to introduce you to my second guest on the pod. Give it up for comedian, frenemy,
Arch enemy
at times, Gracie Canaan.
Nailed it. No, you didn't.
Is it Canaan?
Do you seriously not? We ran a show together.
What's your last
for
name?
like a year. Canaan.
What did I say?
You said everything, but you're like Canaan, and then like
Gracie Canaan.
Yeah,
it's Canaan.
Do you know my first name?
Well, that's a funny thing about you is your first name is Grace, and I only found that out recently. You're one of those friends that I don't know anything about you. We talk.
You refuse to learn.
We talk every day, and the more I learn, the more I'm like, I don't know if I want to continue with this.
You were like, wait, you're from Seattle. I'm like, I'm from California. I have a younger brother.
Stop,
you were like,
stop. It's too much.
Fucking out of control.
We have the type of friendship that guys have where like only 20 years in do I learn that like you have like a degenerative disease or something, you know?
Which I do.
Which one? Just
no,
aging
I'm
as
kidding.
a woman?
I was gonna, exactly. Crow's feet.
It's
chronic. I'm starting to GoFundMe. You're the only person that I'm mysterious with then. Everyone else knows everything, but it's like, I like to think that you and I are both so self-centered that we just constantly like
we tell each other things about
we
ourselves,
tell each other
but
all
no one's
the
listening.
No, it's just electrons bouncing off of each other. But I think that's what's gonna make us last a really long time is we're gonna be like 80 and sitting on a porch together. Sorry, you're gonna be sitting on a bench asking someone
and I'll
about
be
their
70, you'll be 80. Okay.
I'll be 40, okay? And we'll just be like, I'm sorry, what's your name again? And it won't be because of dementia.
It'll be because we haven't been listening.
Yeah.
And you may have recognized her from the show because you were on the show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, people were very excited to have someone in their 30s on there. They were like, finally, some mature representation.
Yeah. It's like the Golden Bachelor.
Yes.
You know, that old Bachelor thing that they're doing? That, but you.
Yeah.
You're the Golden Bachelorette.
I am.
Geriatric Gracie.
I'm so close to death.
Well, I invited you on here because I think that you have a really interesting dating life.
Okay.
In that you're in your 30s.
And you're not a nun.
No, I
texted you the other day and you go, I was like, I feel like 2024 is going to be my year. You're like, it better be. Aren't you almost 40? You're a fucking asshole.
Well, I like hanging out with you because then I feel young. My last guest was 23, which felt like a hate crime at me.
Dude, being early 20s sucks.
It sucks. It's over.
Like life got so much better the second I turned 30.
Yeah, we're way better looking than we were like a few years ago when we met.
We have proof.
No, we can't.
We look like a mix between like Gollum and Teletubbies.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And I was going through a bad breakup for like 2 years.
Yeah, you were going for a breakup longer than
most presidents are in office.
Longer than the relationship.
I went through a breakup during 2 presidents.
It spanned. Yeah.
It was long.
And like a Trump presidency where it's like 4 years on, 4 years off,
right?
4 years back on. Your relationship was the Trump of relationships. We were on and off in the Oval Office.
Yeah. So like, what's your help people understand who are you? What's your quick elevator pitch?
Okay, as far as like occupationally what I do?
Yeah, just like who you are.
Just a small town gal trying to make it in the big city.
Totally.
Trying to fuck my way to the middle.
Yeah.
No, I would say, occupation wise, comedian, writer, during the day, which I know you shouldn't admit when you have a day job, but I love my day job. Mm-hmm. So illustrator, designer, and then I have a night job that I do once a week or something.
Which is?
I'm a dancer. So I dance at a lap dance club.
Okay.
Which is not to be confused with a strip club, but it's basically the same thing.
What's the difference?
The difference is it doesn't look or feel like a typical strip club. So this is something that not a lot of people know about, but it's a big thing in Manhattan. There's like 3 or 4 substantial places or established places, but it basically feels like a party at a sexy cocktail lounge, and you end up getting a lap dance if you meet someone you hit it off with. But it's more, people aren't walking around in stripper heels. In fact, there are no stripper heels allowed.
Really?
There's like one.
Are you wearing ballet flats?
Yeah, because I'm a
ballerina.
I'm a dancer.
Yeah.
No, so you kind of look like you are going out to a club for the night, and then it's more about kind of conversation,
girlfriend experience,
right? Whereas in a strip club, you walk in as a guy, and immediately there's 10 women coming up to you. Do you want to dance? Do you want to dance? So it's a little less pressure.
You're like, tell me about your parents' divorce.
Yeah. And then I get them weeping, and then I steal their wallet.
Yeah.
So that is actually how I make all my money. I've never given a dance in my life.
Yeah.
It's just,
I still haven't had to do the dance part.
Cold hard manipulation.
Do you talk about that when you're dating people? And
I do.
Have you ever run into friction there?
Absolutely. I've run into friction. So these days, I didn't used to tell people, because not that I was ashamed of it, because I didn't want people to fetishize me.
Yeah.
I didn't want, because, I show up looking like this. I don't want people to think I'm actually sexy.
See, I want the opposite. I want people to think that I'm a stripper because I dress like one. But then behind closed doors, I'm like awkward and bumping into things,
just in like a matching sweatsuit. Yeah for sure, which is like so it's the worst of both worlds. Truly. But yeah, nowadays I tell people pretty much right off the bat, because if you have a problem with it, like my most recent ex had a problem with it. So I was not dancing. I basically danced I started in 2018, stopped when the pandemic happened, obviously. And I was only doing it on and off to supplement my income. And then I wanted to start again in 2022 because I didn't have a job at the time. My ex was kind of like pressuring me to move in. I didn't have the money, and I really wanted to. And, he was being truthful. He was like, I can't stop you from doing it, but it'll make me really uncomfortable and like it'll affect our relationship. And at the time I was like, yeah, that's totally reasonable and blah, blah, blah. And now that I'm out of it, I'm like, get over it, man. Like my 7-year-long relationship didn't have a problem. I started when I was in that relationship.
Yeah.
We kind of tackled it as a team. Like, how is this going to work out? And then now I am super open with people that I date.
So in your your first relationship, you started dancing, you had a boyfriend.
Yeah.
And he was supportive the whole time. And did he ever like come?
Too supportive.
Did he ever like come to the?
No. I don't think so.
Like you had like a no. That was like a no.
He could have. I just think like we didn't get around to it.
Okay. And then second relationship, he was like, that made him insecure and jealous.
Yeah. The second relationship, I had a mini relationship in between those two, and it was during COVID, so I wasn't doing it, but like, I have a film project based on this, and I sent it over to him just because he was like, oh, I want to read some of your writing. And I sent it over to him, and I was like, oh, did you get a chance to read it? He said, I had to stop reading it because like the thought of you doing these things like made me so, and I was just like, can everyone say it with me? Grow up. Just grow up. The fuck up.
I think because we had someone write in last week, like a girl I'm dating is a stripper and it makes you uncomfortable. What should I do?
Yeah.
And like, I get why it's,
that?
I know.
Yeah.
I get why it can be challenging.
For
it's like,
sure.
It's like threatening in a way if you're like fearful of female sexuality also.
Yeah.
Like I get it, but there's the like shaming of it. Like you have to be able to be communicative about it.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's something you like explore together in some way.
Yeah. I think it's not like going in and being an account manager. Definitely. Although I have done that with my pants off.
Right.
But I think it definitely requires communication like everything else. But, I don't think that a guy being cool with that should be the exception. Like I got a really sweet voice memo from someone in the past year, and I'm just always saying in the past year. And I said, hey, thank you for being cool with me dancing. And he sent me this sweet voice memo. He's like, yeah, I don't own you. You're an autonomous person. I think you should do whatever you want. I was like, this is amazing.
What's the male equivalent?
I don't know. Ask your boyfriend. I don't think there is, because
men can't sell their bodies, or they could try. We'd be like, ew, stop. Ew, I'll pay you to put your clothes back on.
Yeah, if they ever come up with a Mark Norman has a joke like that.
Well, I guess maybe it's like if your boyfriend really likes going to strip clubs.
Yeah, but you're losing money on that.
Yeah, but he like really likes it. That's like his favorite hobby. I think if a guy
wants to go to hobby,
he's like, I have to.
He's gone to REI to get the gear.
Or like, okay, here's a good question. So you have a regular. Can you talk about that?
Yeah.
You have a strip club, or sorry, lap dance.
Oh yeah,
regular.
Yeah.
So a guy that every week sees you. Do you feel like if it was the reverse and like your boyfriend had a girl he always got a lap dance from?
No. I might want to meet her.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like first of all, I wouldn't have a regular to this extent if I were in a committed relationship. Like I just wouldn't make someone go through that.
Yeah.
If it was someone I was dating casually and they had like the way I talk about my regular, I consider him a friend.
Yeah.
So it's not like emotionally romantic. You know, we trust each other. It's healthy. I talk about him to someone I'm dating. So it's not taboo too.
Yeah,
I kind of think,
secret.
I think everything out in the open. So I think if someone I was dating casually was like, I love fucking Rachel at Spearmint Rhino.
Hoo-ha's.
Yeah. At Big Boobies in Midtown. I'd be like,
she's such a sweet girl.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, what are your boundaries?
Yeah.
Just so I'm curious. And
it's just like guys don't even know how to navigate that boundaries and stuff, so they would be doing it wrong. Like, you know what I mean? He'd be like, what do you mean
she
boundaries?
comes over to my house.
Yeah, what do you mean?
3 p.m. I would be like, I'm very clear to people that I'm not being physical with this person.
Have you ever gone out with someone you met at the club?
Yeah. So I go out with this person. I've gone out with one person before. I was in my 20s and it was just very cringe and awkward. And I couldn't have handled this situation back then, but I'm very clear.
Because of the boundaries and
exactly.
yourself?
Like I think the reason that it works with this person that I'm with my regular right now is we were both it almost like started as a business arrangement. And then as we spent more time with each other and slowly like built each other's trust, that now we're, friends who can enjoy each other. We go out to dinner, we go to outings.
Would you consider it a sugar baby situation?
Yeah, I would.
Okay.
But it's mutually beneficial because this person really enjoys like I went in, I think the first couple nights or like the second night he met me, he's like, your dress has a rip in it, right?
And you were like, buy me a new one.
And I'm like I think part of it is a sugar daddy thing, but part of it is he just kind of like,
it's like giving daddy Warbucks. Yes. He wants to help you.
Yeah, like for sure.
And he doesn't, and you're like, I have a full design day job. He thinks you're like a 23-year-old NYU student.
I mean, I kind of present as
you're
that.
cosplaying as me.
Well, that's the whole thing.
And you dyed your hair blonde for a bit.
Yeah, I did. I just want to be you, minus the
everything about me.
I think he gets joy out of like fixing me up.
Yeah. Well, that's cool because usually women get joy out of fixing men. So this is a nice
I
little.
know. It's another thing that I'm taking from men is being like
taking the help.
Help me.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so fun to be baby bird.
It really is.
Oh
my God. That's like, I really enjoy our relationship / friendship.
Yeah.
Because like,
this is the first time in my life I've been able to be like, I'm helpless to my boyfriend and he can help me.
Really?
Yeah. Because
That's
all
so
my
sweet.
exes have been like,
they've been like,
Just that's it. I'm like, help me. And they're like,
I'm kind of tired. And they're like, you're disgusting.
Yeah. And I'm like, you're so right.
They block you.
Yeah.
It's like frowny face, miss you, throw their phone into the river.
I've dated the worst of them. Let's do a little intake. What's the current state of the union of your dating life? Like, where are we at right now?
Yeah. So my last relationship ended like a year ago. Up until then, I was a serial monogamous. So from when I was 18, are you ready for this math? From when I was 18 to 31, I was just in relationships. I think I was single for like 8 months total. And it's weird because I didn't want a boyfriend or any.
Well, yeah, you never do.
Yeah. And then anyway, so I'm really enjoying being single right now. I went through like a little bit of a hoe phase last year, which again, hoe phases in your 30s, so much more fun than in your 20s. Highly recommend it.
Why?
Because you know what you want. You have confidence. You're not going to put up with like shitty behavior.
I think I might still.
I think you will for sure.
Yeah.
But it's just better. Like you're not secretly needing validation from people.
Okay.
So I went through like a bimbro hoe phase and then
what?
Bimbro?
What's that?
Oh my God, you don't know about this word?
No.
Maybe because it's a word I might have made up.
Yeah.
But bimbro, it's like a bimbo but a guy. Like a bro.
Oh, you were dating bimbros.
I was like I was seeing bimbros
really?
last year. Yeah, I love a bro.
Like hot dumb bros.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's never done anything for me.
Yeah, I think it does for me because like after so many years of emotional labor and complexity, I've really just enjoyed someone.
Just simplify.
I'm like, oh, you got to go watch the game.
That's the ultimate minimalism, is dating a hot dumb guy.
It is. It's the equivalent of like a Murphy bed.
Yeah,
know?
like you Marie Kondo your dating life.
Yeah,
by dating a dumb idiot.
And then after we fuck, I put them in a plastic bin under my bed.
Yeah,
it's really like I'm flexible.
Yeah.
Now I'm like a couple notches up from hoe phase, so into casually seeing people, but actually like having dates.
You know what's so interesting about you? Whenever you talk about your approach to dating, it reminds me of my most toxic exes and what they did to me.
I know.
Because you're a Gemini.
Okay, I know. And I've often in the past ended up not siding with your exes. Do you want to hand me a red flag? Not siding with your exes, but basically saying, hey, as someone who does that, just drop them. Like walk away.
Right.
You know, I haven't been like excusing their shitty behavior, but I try not to be shitty. I try to be very transparent. I'm like, I'm not looking for anything serious.
But yeah, that's what guys do.
Yeah, but
they
why
are transparent.
Is it just what? Yeah, but then I like your joke. Can you like tell your joke about the no means no thing?
It's like girls get offended when guys say no means yes. Yeah. We're like, that's, rape. But a guy tells us he doesn't want to be in a relationship and we're like, I think you do. I'm going to put you inside of one, whether you like it or not.
Genius. It's a good one. It's like a right there joke too.
Yeah.
Like I'm surprised I haven't heard it before.
Yeah.
Like it's so unoriginal.
Yeah. What no means yes really just should be applied to men being like, I don't want to be your boyfriend.
Yeah. Well, that's all.
And you're like, well, look at what you're wearing. You're practically begging for it.
Well, that's how it's always been with me is I think guys say yes to that, but then they think like challenge accepted. Mm-hmm. And it also is tricky because you're going to fucking hate this is I've learned to get a grip on it, but I will say I don't want anything serious, but then like I'll do
serious things. Yeah, that's what boys do.
No, it's why can't it also be why can't we claim fuck girl?
No. I'm not I think that's awesome, and to be clear, I'm just jealous that I can't do that.
Why can't you?
Because I am a Cancer.
Yeah.
But like, for example,
you have a Sagittarius rising. Oh, I think that just means you're like, you double down on emotion. I think that means like you have no chill.
I like write love letters on the toilet. You know what I mean?
I know.
Like,
there's this whole part of you that's just like
disgusting, embarrassing.
When you tell me the things you do with like men you love, it's so much. It's like an A24. It's like an A24 horror movie.
Okay.
Let's get us back on track.
Let's reel back.
Yeah.
You are in your post-hoe phase,
but still casual.
Casually dating multiple people. that maybe they don't know about each other, but you're open to date. Like you're not exclusive to anyone.
I'm not exclusive.
You've not promised exclusivity.
No,
and you're not looking for that.
I'm not looking for that. Not like I am looking to, like, I'm busy, right? You get that as like a comedian slash multi-level marketing schemer slash whatever the fuck you do.
Yeah.
So like I really only have like highest 2 slots a week, which is a lot. Usually it's like one every other,
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't promise exclusivity. I think that what I kind of do is like a don't ask, don't tell. Or I ask them if they're comfortable with that. Like, hey, I am not interested in being exclusive right now. I lead them on, maybe if you're a good boy.
You breadcrumb them.
No, I say like, I'm not interested in being exclusive right now. Is that something you're okay with? They'll usually say yes because they're dudes. And I establish like, do you want like a don't ask, don't tell policy, or would you like to be kept in the loop? And usually it's don't ask, don't tell. And I think as long as you have an approach and you're being sexually safe,
and do most guys say don't ask, don't tell?
Yeah, I'm still navigating it, honestly, but I also don't know when the right time is to broach that conversation. I usually try to do it like as upfront as possible.
Is don't ask, don't tell, is that like originally applied to gay people in the military?
Yes, and that's what I meant. That's what I'm referring to when I bring that up.
The don't ask, don't tell thing is interesting because I am in an open relationship, and stop. And I at first said, let's don't ask, don't tell. And then I was just pacing around my room, constantly assuming my boyfriend was fucking
like
somebody.
Like
literally, I was like, he's got a full crew working around the clock to get him pussy. Like I
Yeah.
thought it was like Ocean's 11.
Yeah.
There's like a guy who's like good at picking locks for some reason.
There's a grease man. In this case, a lube man.
Yeah, lube man. There's like an underground tunnel network bringing like girls to his apartment, like
Facial recognition software.
surveillance van outside of mine to make sure I don't know about it. Like I really, and then I would like find out
Guys aren't that organized.
No. My boyfriend was like at home watching YouTube videos about supplements. You know what I mean? Like he wasn't
so that he could get jacked and get
girls.
pussy.
I
Yeah.
was catching it early on.
Yeah,
you know what
exactly.
I mean? But so then it became like actually tell me immediately. Tell me while it's happening.
I think a lot of people, and to be clear, I just want to know, I don't judge like ENM people.
What's that? Oh,
ethically non-monogamous.
I'm not that.
I hate. Yeah, I know. You guys are just cheating
unethical
on each other. Yeah,
unethical.
I don't hate that. I hate it for you. Like knowing your history of writing love letters and like wanting to. When you told me you were in an open relationship, I'm like, you're gonna explode. Like you're gonna just spontaneously. I think it is good for you because I do think you're exploring your sexuality.
Okay.
Which I think is good for you. I think you need to be a little bit of a hoe.
Do you think I was prude before?
I don't think you were prude before. You had like 2 modes. You had like, I'm monogamous and in love with someone, or I'm banging everyone in Portugal.
That's true. That's true. Those were my 2 activations.
I think that it's good for you to have
something in between,
a middle ground. Yeah.
I will say my open relationship is the healthiest relationship I've ever had. All my monogamous relationships have been demented.
Well, I think with monogamous relationships, you can also like leverage. You can unhealthily like leverage the other person's partnership. Yeah. If that makes sense. So you're like, I'm all you have, therefore, and you don't get perspective. Let's say you were in a toxic open relationship, or you guys went open, and then you have an interaction with someone who makes you feel good. And you're like, it's, you get some reference points, you know?
Yeah, that's true. Were you in an open relationship before?
No, with you want to bring up my ex?
No. Well, okay.
Why don't you give a
so you were in an 8-year long relationship, right?
Yeah, 7 years.
7 years. The day that I met you, you had ended that relationship.
Yes,
and you were in a full manic episode. And you were like on a weird survivalist kick. You were buying survival gear on Amazon.
I still have some.
Within 10 minutes of meeting you, we met in line for a comedy competition, NBC stand-up search.
I didn't make it
overnight in the pouring rain in New York City.
In the pouring rain. It was like inhospitable, inhumane conditions.
I was like 19 years old. I was like actually 22 years old.
Wasn't legal. Yeah, you were a baby.
And I met you and you were like, hey, so we're gonna be camping out here all night. If you want to go home and get some sleep, I'll like stay here
First watch.
Yeah, like you went all Jon Snow on me, and then you were like, just ended my 8-year relationship, so like I'm not good. And I was like, what's going on?
No, you were in love with me.
I did. I thought
you had a giant crush on me.
I did have a crush on you.
And like many other comedians, you've told me you had a crush on me initially, and then you got to know me.
And then it immediately went away. But so you were in a long relationship for like your early 20s.
Yes, from when I was 20 to 28.
Okay. And then that ended and you guys, against all odds, stayed friends.
We did not plan to stay friends. I would just like to make that clear. I think it is silly when any exes break up and they go, let's try to be friends. I think that is stupid. I think it has to happen naturally, but we are now like best friends and roommates. Why do you hate that so much?
Why do I hate that you live with your ex-boyfriend of 8 years?
Yes, like it's not toxic.
No, but that's why it's annoying. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean?
Like if I were calling the cops
you
every
guys,
day,
like,
you'd love that for me?
Yeah, like you guys like set each other up with your friends.
Yeah.
I feel like you've tried to proposition me for him.
Yeah, but I only want to proposition you because you would hate it. So, like you guys would hate each other so much, and that would be fun for me to watch.
I don't like it's
you
too
don't
healthy.
Like functionality.
What is it like when you date new people and they find out you live with your ex?
Again, that's a thing that he and I are both very upfront about, and we've both decided that like that's a test for people that we want to hang around. And that's totally reasonable if that makes you uncomfortable, and if it makes you uncomfortable, you're not going to be able to hang. Like you're not going to be able to hang out. So honestly, it's all gone really well. I've been friends, like pretty much friends with everyone he's brought around. I don't bring around people because I don't like people in my space.
Me neither.
But yeah,
it's so
right?
gross when a boy's in your room.
Oh
I'm like,
God, don't touch anything. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it has not been a problem so far. I think if you just own it and you're upfront about it.
So you're like first date, first drink. You're like, I give lap dances. I live with my ex.
You're going to have the time of your life.
I'm not committing to fucking anything.
Well, that means is essentially like, we're going to have a crazy time in bed. Because you can't have this many red flags and then be vanilla. So
that's so true.
I think I also have a very like, I'm serious about this. And like, if you can't get with this, like
you're very direct.
If you're not on board, like
if you make crazy life choices like living with your ex, just be direct about it.
Yeah, just own it, and also be prepared for the fact that any controversial personal choice you make is gonna filter people out.
Yeah, it's sort of like me having a public persona. People immediately are like, I don't want anything to do with this. Yeah. Seriously. Yeah. Nobody. I'm a
really?
Nobody.
Dude, I know so many people, including people that I have slept with, who are like, I'm using you to get to Stef.
They think that. But then the second they're in my actual orbit, they're like, I don't want to be a part of this.
What are you doing? You walking out of Starbucks and just the paparazzi are on you?
No, but I think they're afraid I'm going to dox them on here.
Oh, that's completely valid.
And that's so valid because I will.
Yeah, I get that too, just as a comedian with like...
Yeah, as a comedian it happens. My last episode of Hot and Single ever will be me just naming my exes by name, number, social security.
You can have like number. A king's scroll.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna set it on fire.
Yeah,
after.
That will be the last episode of Hot and Single.
I like that.
Words. What's your like advice for being friends with your ex?
Okay, I think there are 5 rules, but I always forget one.
Okay.
It's you have to have had like.
Is there an acronym you have?
No, I'm working on it though. Let me know. Okay. Owen, you got me? Okay, cool. Write this down. So you have to have had like a relatively functional relationship, like not cheating, toxicity, like not a lot of old wounds. 2, amicable breakup. 3, you can't still be attracted to each other. I don't think, like maybe on a baby level. So the attraction had
to have left during the relationship?
Yeah, I think our attraction... No, I think we still had attraction up until the end, but like in our year, the first year that we were broken up, it dwindled. I think
you I think it helps when you were weirdly in a long relationship with someone, because the fire is usually pretty gone 8 years in.
I mean, yeah, it wasn't like we were still having regular sex. We were still like going on dates. We still, but I think we were both craving a newness that we weren't admitting ourselves to want. Now he's like open, goes to sex party. He did like a complete 180. He won as in like he has the most STDs for sure.
You're here. He's at a sex party right now.
It's 3:30 in the afternoon.
He's at the icebreakers portion of the sex party right now.
We'll get to that. I'm very happy about that for him. I think it's really cool that he found his thing. For me, I love sex. I have a very high sex drive. There's nothing about that that appeals. Girl. I'm so wet right now.
Cool girl.
And just fuck people and I don't even look them in the eye. It's amazing.
Wow, okay.
But I'm not like other girls. I'm a slut. I just don't. There's nothing about the sex party thing that like appeals to me. But I'm getting us off track of.
I don't think we were ever on track.
I didn't finish my rules.
Oh,
that's what it was.
You never started.
Yeah. No, I did, and I will finish. You can't have like backslid, really. Like maybe a couple times, but like
like hooked up
on and off. Like we have not hooked up since we've been dating.
That's crazy.
And you have to be okay with seeing them with a partner. If you see them with a partner and like a little bit of you isn't okay, you're not ready to be friends. And
never mind roommates.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's like wildly in love with his girlfriend right now, also named Grace, also a filmmaker.
It's so hard to hear. It's like watching a car crash happen in real time.
Not in slow motion.
Yeah, no.
In fast motion.
I'm like, wait, can you guys slow that down? Do it again. It's unbelievable.
And he's like so grossly in love with her. He's just like always gushing. Like I've never. But they're in an open
relationship?
Like yeah.
Okay.
And he tries to tell me about all their sex stuff.
Okay.
And like I feel like you can only be happy for a friend, like outwardly happy for a friend for so many months before you're like, okay, I'm getting
It
tired.
Is annoying when your friend gets really happy.
No, I mean
relationship wise.
No, I love that for them.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I do.
Earlier this year when I was like, I'm the happiest I've ever been, you were like, stop telling me that. I was like, I'm so in love and I'm so happy. And you were like, can you like grow up? It's a little insufferable.
Grow up. Here's what it is. First of all, I probably just said that to you specifically to be mean to you specifically.
Yeah.
But I know I love when my friends are in love. Like I don't want love, but I love around me. I think all of my friends are in like really solid relationships right now. I just can only be expected to like, oh, so many times.
Right.
Where I'm like, he'll just send me.
He's like, we did anal again. You're like, oh.
Yeah. Like awesome. The first 6 months I was really supportive. And now I'm like, you need like a group chat. Yeah. You need anyone in your phone will do.
Yeah.
Hit the family group chat and tell them about the threesome you had the other night.
That's incredible. I don't know anybody else who's friends with their ex in this way. Like it's unbelievable.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we were just like, if I may be sincere,
I grant you permission.
Okay. I think we were like brought together to be friends. And then the first, it was almost like we were meant to get all the sex and romance stuff out of the way.
Yeah.
So then we could just be lifelong friends who never had to worry, never had to think what if.
Yeah, I think the problem is a girl is going to hear you saying this and think about her ex that she's still secretly in love with.
Don't do it. And then she's going to try to justify it.
Yeah. And girls are so good at deluding themselves into being like, no, I know he was brought into my life for this specific reason. I did this for 2 years.
Guys are the same. I have fucking emails that are like, use the word destiny. So it's not.
You have got emails from a lot of your exes.
I have a long block list.
You have had to block a lot of guys, which is also a brag.
No, it's not.
I don't have any guys that I get to block.
You also have
no one's like up my ass trying to get back in touch. It's like so annoying. I'm like begging to have an ex that I have to block because they won't leave me alone.
Like no one wants to hang out with you again.
No one. And also none of my exes have social media. So like I can't, They can't even like see I'm doing well.
You are doing well, but they also would have muted you anyway because of your like incessant annoying presence. So even if they did see you were doing well, they'd be like,
I just feel like they don't care. The only drive to do well as a woman is so that your ex one day sees it. Let's talk about how the vibes on Tinder are unmatched. It's the place to be right now. It has boundless possibilities where everything is possible. Seriously. It starts with a swipe. It's easy. It's fun. Tinder has it all. No, actually, it has like all the profiles. The most possibilities to find the love of your night or someone to become that couple with. It's time to reignite that flame. Grab your phone, tap that download button, and make this your best year. Explore all the possibilities for yourself. Tinder. It starts with a swipe. Download Tinder today. I feel like we've gone so... I mean,
take us back.
I don't know where to take us back to. What's your current roster / dating situation? And also your tips for doing what you're doing, which is dating without getting too attached.
Oh, yeah. Be a psychopath, first of all.
Be a Gemini.
Be a Gemini. Just do that. No, I think it took... When I was first single, when my ex and I first broke up, like 2019, I was 27 and I was so bad at dating. Because as someone who'd just been in a relationship with someone who's adoring me, I was like, why is no one falling in? Like,
you were dating for a relationship. That's what I was doing too.
I wasn't dating for a relationship, but I was like, why don't you want to be in a relationship?
Yeah, like me? you couldn't grapple with dating being this fleeting thing.
Yeah, I was like, I on one hand, I knew I didn't want anything serious, but on the other hand, I was so used to there being a progression that I was like, why isn't this progressing? And now I'm like, I can hold a status quo for months with someone.
Do you feel like that's just that comes naturally because you're like busy and so like the progression doesn't happen as easily, or do you feel like there's certain things you do to stop things from progressing?
I think the first one is a majority of it. Like, I am busy. I really want to protect my energy. My friends are like my high priority, which we all fuck together. So don't get. But I also think like because I've had such emotionally intense relationships for the past 3 years, I really enjoy the honeymoon period. So I really enjoy the moment where
before
we're like,
they really know each other really well.
Absolutely. Yeah. Like I really enjoy the period where it's like we're just making dinner together and watching a movie.
You're just like two hot people.
Fun.
You haven't been vulnerable
it's
yet.
Like or it's like I think you can even be vulnerable, but it's just I think you can. Like I'm still vulnerable, but I think that's the main motivation is I'm like, I don't want anyone to feel obligated or...
Do you rely on them at all?
No.
There's no emotional reliance.
That's the thing that I don't do. Like if I have good news or bad news or something I want to talk to, they're not...
The people
like
you go to.
If we happen to be texting, they're like, how are you doing? I can be like, oh, I'm kind of low, you know. If they're like, do you want to talk about it? I'm like, oh, I'm good. Maybe I'll fill you in. But I think that helps. Just like if you're going through something, try to have yourself and then have your friends and then have your 3 therapists and then have your cat.
Yeah, I think if you're trying to date casually, don't let that person be the person you go to for good news or bad news.
Well, and you know what's weird is I noticed that more than bad news, the good news is usually the thing that I want to share with a partner. That's like when I get good news, because it's weird to like text it to a friend.
Yeah, it feels like bragging, especially if your friends are in the same industry as you.
You also do it to me all the time, but I don't. No. But I mean, it's like a good, like I don't think it's weird. But as someone who's been in relationships and always texted my boyfriend that, I'm getting used to asking for that same support from my friends. But I think it's completely viable. It just feels weird at first.
So what are some like recent dates that stick out?
Yeah, I'll name some from like the past year. One was the worst date I've had, but it was so funny. It was, the whole date lasted 45 minutes. So here's a trick also. I usually like to have an out.
Yeah.
Like always. I have some, but so I saw someone on my lunch break or whatever.
What?
And what?
You saw someone on your lunch break?
Yeah, I have
daytime date.
I have I love a daytime date because I like seeing someone in the daytime. I like not being super drunk.
Do you get a drink?
I think I got like a beer, but I don't like, because I've had too many experiences where I meet someone at 8 p.m. We're at a dive bar.
There's no
we
out.
get drunk.
You're stuck.
Or we're stuck, but then also I think I'm having fun because I have a few drinks and there's a candle. You know, I can't see their
candle
whole
will
face.
really do something to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're like a sexy Phantom of the Opera.
Yeah,
and then I
yeah.
see them the next week and I'm just like, I should have gotten coffee with you.
Yeah.
So this guy, I show up. It's like he's read Pickup Artist 101 book, or like not even 101, just like 90. So I show up and he's on the phone.
No.
Yeah. And it's clearly like,
This has
it's
happened to
so
me.
clearly a power thing.
Yeah.
Because my thing also is like, I'm like, I promise you, as someone with a full-time job, freelance, comedy, my nighttime job, a mental illness, and like fucking whatever else I do, I promise you I'm busier than you.
Yeah. I also think it's embarrassing when people use being busy as an excuse. The same way that people, like, I think, because I think everyone's busy and I do think we're busier, but I think like being busy and being tired are embarrassing things to say in 2024.
I think being tired
Stop talking
is
about
really
it.
yeah, just everyone's tired.
Everyone's tired, everyone's busy.
Do some coke.
Like do some coke and grow up.
Yeah, grow up. I like this new catchphrase.
Grow up.
Grow up. Stop grieving about your dead father
and grow up.
Grow up. I agree about the busy thing too. I think as someone who is constantly going, I still make time for people I'm interested in.
Yeah.
And so if someone is not getting back to me, I had like a situation like that last year where someone was just super hot and cold with me. And I'm like, you're not even like making an effort. So stop. Like, it shouldn't take someone 48 hours to text you back.
Yeah.
I think that maybe if it's well,
I do that, but yeah.
Yeah, but with dating.
No, I text if I like you.
Yeah,
if I have a crush on you, I'm texting you back before you've even sent the text message. My brain intercepts before you send, and I send that text message.
Well, no, but it's like at the beginning, whether it's the beginning of like a work relationship or a romantic relationship, if you are interested, you will respond in a timely manner. And then when you have good friends like this, you'll never respond.
Yeah, right. I won't respond to you.
For sure.
That's fine.
Anyway, so I'm on this date with this guy. He's doing the douchebag thing. All he does is talk about himself. Like, I think at one point, 40 minutes in, he asked me what I did for work.
Yeah.
Like, just...
And there's only 5 minutes left on that date.
Right, exactly.
Right, clock's ticking.
I had a timer. I actually lit him like you do at a comedy show.
You should do that at dates. When a guy is talking too long, you're just like... Can you get off stage?
You did that backwards.
I don't know how to light people at comedy shows. I'm gonna be honest.
You covered the
light
phone,
myself,
and then you just waved your hand in front of nothing. So yeah, he just talks about himself the whole time, and not only that, but then he gets into conspiracy theories, which that's when I started having a fun time.
Yeah, that's fun,
right? Because,
what kind of conspiracy theories are you talking about?
That if you see the Northern Lights in New York, you got to leave immediately because that means that like the whole city is going to be electrocuted or something. I can't disprove it.
You heard it here first.
You heard it here first. I'm getting back into my survivalist shit. And then he was like something about guns. I kind of blocked. Oh, he was an anti-vaxxer for sure. Something about guns. And then I started messing with him. I was like, yeah, we should just give guns to teachers. And he was like, exactly. So then we're talking. And then at a certain point, I'm like, all right, I'm never going to see this guy again. I'm getting tacos. Okay, we're going out.
Yeah.
We're going out in style. I'm eating.
With him?
Yeah, because I'm like, there's no way I'm paying for this. I might as well get lunch.
Sure.
Right,
I forget it's the daytime.
Yes, I'm telling you, day dates, so efficient. So I eat, and I start choking, and this man does not stop talking. like I'm like turning blue.
You're like doing
and
the choking
he's talking
symbol.
about like his friend Eric's bachelor party.
Right.
And I'm just like, is this also what happened to the stripper? Jesus Christ. Yeah. And then at the end, I think he asked me one question, and then it was,
How did you have to Heimlich yourself?
no, I just like coughed it out. I was like, I'm good. Like,
And then he was like, what? What'd you say?
oh, are you speaking speaking a different language or something? But yeah. And then by that point it was pouring rain. And I just left in the pouring rain. I was like,
Did
I
you
would
say
rather.
anything? Were you like, I just choked?
No. He was too far gone at that point. I was like, it's not even worth. I think I was just laughing to myself. Like when I meet someone who has such little self-awareness, it becomes like a sketch that I'm watching.
So that's worst date you've been on maybe in the last year.
But it was so funny.
Near-death experience.
And then I think my best, I don't know why this one sticks out to me. We met in real life. He asked for my number. He texts me. I text him back. He doesn't text back for like till the next day, which fine. That's totally fine. Text him back. He doesn't text back for like 3 days, which at that point, if you ask for my number and you're going 72 hours without,
that's mentally ill.
It's just like, no, you're done. And then when he did text back, it was with an invitation to his sketch comedy show. Anyway, we're married.
No. Did you know he was a sketch comedian when you went out with him?
We didn't go out. We like met. We didn't even get to the first date. Like,
but did you know he was a sketch comedian when you took his number?
No, I did not. I knew he was like a filmmaker, writer.
Well, that means sketch comedian. When a boy tells you he's a filmmaker and writer, he's a sketch comedian.
He makes little
at
itty
the Pit
bitty
Improv Theater.
Cute, please TikTok.
TikTok.
With 7 likes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Wow. Dig. The ultimate dig.
Yeah.
Is the lack of likes. Like, okay, we're all going to die in 5 years.
I want to do a segment where we answer questions from the audience.
Yeah.
Dating questions. And I think the first one is very relevant to us, which is how do you help a friend going through a bad breakup? If you wanna,
yeah, I'll take this one.
If you want to give context,
so completely hypothetical. We'll call her Daphne Staggs. Completely. No, I think there are phases, right? The best thing you can do is support your friend, right? Like be more available to them. Throw in some. He's such
dinners.
A dick. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Like I think when you're going through a breakup, a bad breakup, like you forget to take care of yourself.
Yeah.
So literally being like, if you're looking for emotional support, just be there. But if you're looking for something like if your friend's going through a bad breakup, like literally send them an Uber Eats.
No, literally.
Like send them because
you didn't do that to me.
No, absolutely. Well, you were just trying to lose weight so badly.
Yeah.
I didn't want to yuck your yum.
Or don't get them an Uber Eats. Let them get that revenge bod.
Oh my God. That is what I miss about being in an unhealthy relationship.
How skinny you were.
I know this is not body positive at all. But I was like, I'm going to turn to dust.
Yeah.
And now I'm like healthy and I'm like,
it sucks.
I need a man to ruin me. So yeah, sorry, that was, I don't know.
Well,
sure we're gonna cut that?
I guess the context here is that I went through a really bad breakup like 4 years ago. I was like truly bedridden, I would say.
It was bad. And it also lasted like, you guys broke up multiple times.
It lasted like a year. It was like a year-long breakup. Yeah. We kept getting back together.
Long distance.
Yeah, it was long distance. He kept like making me think we were getting back together essentially. Yeah, breadcrumbing me and like I would be like, don't talk to me again. And then he texts me, I miss you.
Yeah.
Like, it was so
That's like so toxic.
Bad.
So. Yeah, but we're not.
Gemini.
I'm not, but like 50%. Like at
no, you wouldn't do that to
telling someone when someone says don't talk to me
and you're like,
and you violate that, like you're a piece of shit.
Yeah. And so me and Gracie were really close at the time and like I think maybe that's why we haven't hung out anymore. Well, the thing is that like
it was trauma bonding. It was trauma bonding.
I was miserable to be around. I couldn't talk about anything else but him. It was like my head was constantly going in circles. Like I wasn't eating. I wasn't drinking water. Like it was like a full. I was sick. I was like,
but
literally
the thing
sick.
is, like, I did have to, and I don't think you will have a problem with me saying this. Like, at a certain point, like as the friend, you do have to step away.
Yeah.
Like you kind of have to be like, look, I'm going to be here for you. And this isn't just for breakups. It's for a lot of things. I will be here for you when you need to call me. But like, I can't watch you keep doing this to yourself. It's because now I'm.
Yeah. At a certain point, you have to give the give the like, we're not doing this anymore.
Right. And I think you have to be honest, especially because like girls, we can all just do anything for our friends.
Yeah.
But to the point where, so I think that anyway, the best thing you can do is be there emotionally, not be too prescriptive. You know, you should do this. Don't try to like set them up with anyone or do the whole like, we're just going to go out and get shit faced. Don't do that.
That's phase 2.
Yeah. Totally.
I think phase 1, don't mention anything about other people and like you'll find somebody else because that hurts so bad in the beginning of a breakup.
Also,
you're like, I can't picture that.
Don't mention what's happening with the person. If you know the ex,
don't give updates.
Don't give updates.
No.
Like when people say that, I mean, I guess, I don't know, it's a fine line because sometimes people find something out and their friend knew about it and they're like, you didn't tell me this, blah, blah, blah. But I just don't, I think it's like, I don't know.
I ran into that situation a lot because my friends, I dated someone in my friend group and like, I would find out that they knew that he hooked up with someone or whatever.
And then you'd be pissed.
And but I'm reasonable enough where I was like, I get why you didn't tell me. Yeah. But then I'd be like, but now tell me everything.
Yeah.
Actually tell me.
Yeah, because what else do you know?
Detail by detail what happened. But I think, it's like be there for your friend. And then it's after a specific amount of time, you got to be like, you have to pick yourself up. Get a therapist. Pay someone to listen to you talk.
Yeah,
that's what I had to do. I paid someone.
Like, here's a BetterHelp gift certificate.
Here's a BetterHelp gift certificate.
I'm also a big fan of like throwing money at problems. So if there's any way to translate, you know, fucking if someone gave me a BetterHelp gift card,
dude,
do they even
if your friends go through a breakup, buy them a couch. A throw
an
pillow.
Uncomfortable couch.
Yes, so they actually
because you don't like if your friends go through a breakup.
Or like a month on ClassPass.
Yeah, it depends where it is in the breakup. That almost has to be like
phase 3
at the beginning or at the end.
Yeah.
Because if you're in the pits of it and someone gets you a ClassPass, you're gonna be like, "What are you trying to say?"
Yeah. Like, that's why they broke up with you.
Or you know what else is a really good thing? If they're not completely a bummer to be around, plan a little weekend getaway. Like
it will be worse for you though. You and me went camping. We went camping.
Yeah, but when was that in your? That was really fun.
That was fun. We did psychedelics.
We came up with an amazing script that will see the light of day.
And I think I only had like 1 or 2 panic attacks about the boyfriend.
I don't remember.
Or I was maybe okay. Nature's good. Nature's good for breakups.
Yeah, nature's really good. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, next question. What's the largest red flag you've ignored while dating someone?
I would say drinking a lot is like, I think you can, I'm a heavy drinker. I'm a heavy social drinker for sure.
Really?
Yeah, dude. Cause between like the club and comedy, it's like,
I
don't even like pay for drinks anymore.
That's
so,
we do work at nightlife.
Which is so weird. I'm like,
but
what? When I don't have to work at night, like the one day a week, I'm in bed at 8:30.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I would say drink, you know, uncontrollable drinking, or if there's that shift, you know, like
where they become a demon mode. Yeah. After a few drinks.
Don't ignore that.
That's bad.
Because it's not, or just like that glaze, you know, that's not great.
That's such a thing with guys.
Yeah. It's. You know, there's
they have so much
called,
they have so much repressed stuff that
a
little bit of alcohol
For the Love of Men. Yeah, that's like really, I think that fits into it. But yeah, I've definitely had boyfriends who drink too much, and then a boyfriend who drank too much, and then started like crying, and then in the morning we just like, I would try to talk about it, and they're like, can't. What? Yeah. Also, I would say a huge red flag is if someone is not on good terms with any ex. Like I'm about half and half. But if why are you giving me that?
No.
You're on good terms with a couple of them.
Yeah, they don't talk to me. I'm on good terms with them. I don't know if they're on good terms with me. I've made my whole life making content about them. Don't think they're happy about that.
It's like a one-way flow.
Hey guys, I'm sorry. I
think that did it. I think they're going to call you and then you're going to get your dream of blocking them. Yeah, I would say if someone like only has bad things to say about their exes, that's a red flag that I shouldn't have.
Crazy is bad. Like, but is there anything you like a specific person you dated where looking back, you're like, I can't believe I let that little thing slide? Like
go for it.
I dated a guy who had a tattoo of the state of Texas on one leg and then a peace sign on one arm and a yin yang on the other.
What do you mean by date?
I almost moved to Sweden for him.
I had a thing of Texas?
Well, yeah. So here's the thing. I met a guy. I was living on a boat in Colombia. Take a minute to let that sink in. And I met a guy. He had a weird accent.
She was 14.
I was right out of college. I was backpacking South America because I'm a cool girl. And I met a guy and he told me he lived in Sweden. I assumed he was Swedish because he had an accent. And then I noticed he had a tattoo of the state of Texas on his calf. And I went, that's weird for a Swede, but they're weird people. Swedes are quirky. And then I noticed the yin yang and the peace sign. And then he told me he got them all done on the same day, on his 18th birthday, you see. So you see. So then
the tale went.
Over time his accent sort of changed and developed, but I was like, I mean, English is hard. English is a hard language to get behind. Then I went to Cuba with him. He was taking care of a man in a wheelchair. That was his full-time job. And I joined them on their trip to Cuba. We all slept in the same room.
I thought you were going to say bed.
In a hotel in Havana.
This is like before or after the embargo was lifted?
I wasn't allowed to be in Cuba. Let me get that straight. I don't know how I got in Cuba and how I got out of Cuba, but I was there with this guy who I thought was Swedish and a guy in a wheelchair. Then I ran out of money. So then I went back to New York. And then he went back to Sweden. And then 48 hours later, I called my mom and I was like, I'm in love with this guy. You need to buy me a flight to Sweden. My mom's like, as long as this means you'll leave me the fuck alone. So she booked me a flight to Sweden. And then over time, I discovered he was actually from Texas. He just had Swedish citizenship because he dated a Swede from the last time he went backpacking when he was in his early 20s.
Wait, you can get citizenship from dating?
Yeah, in Sweden.
I gotta go.
Yeah. So then I went to the town that he lived in. It was a city called Linköping, 5th largest city in Sweden. I went there 5 times in 1 year. No one's ever been to Linköping.
What is it with you being allergic to dating someone in your city?
I never have and I never will.
I get it.
So that was the first time I learned a new language and almost moved countries for a guy, but certainly not the last. Whatever my Duolingo is set to, that's who you know I'm fucking. You know what I mean? It was Swedish, then it was Hebrew.
And then Duolingo turns up with you're making Duolingo sad. I'm like, I'm making myself sad.
Yeah. So that was the red flag I ignored, was that he had a fake accent, and the tattoos were definitely a red flag.
Fake accent. And at what point did you confront him about this fake accent?
Well, he was like, I've lived in Sweden so long, my voice changed. It was,
I'm sorry, Lindsay Lohan. It was, get the fuck out.
Yeah, it was giving the Austin Butler Elvis thing, where he like can't stop talking like Elvis from being in that movie.
Wait, what is this?
Never
mind. We don't have time.
We don't have time to explain pop culture to you.
But yeah, red flags. I don't have any like fun, quirky red flags. I just have
all mine are fun, quirky.
No, mine are like all demonic. It's like gaslighting, being blocked by your ex, and alcoholism.
Mine are like, I was converting to Judaism for one.
That's a you red flag.
Yeah. I am realizing that I might be the toxic one because I'm so unbelievably open and like in love with people immediately that it's actually toxic.
You're anxious attached.
I'm
for
so
sure.
anxious attached.
But I don't think it's toxic. I think you're just like more susceptible to being tangled into a toxic situation, but I don't think you're the fire starter.
Yeah, I attach avoidant personalities. Yeah. But I'm so traumatized by that breakup that we talked about where I was broken up with all the time that I call my boyfriend every day now and I'm like, are you breaking up with me?
Yeah.
And he's like, no. And can you stop asking me that? And I'm like, but so now are you mad at me for asking you that? So are you going to break up with me?
No. Okay. But now are you mad about me?
And then sometimes I'll be like, well, now I'm like, maybe I do want to break up with you. The last question is, how long should you chase a girl if she likes you?
What? What does that even mean?
How long should you chase a girl if she likes you? I think.
Wait, why are you?
He's like, how long should I keep a girl trapped in my basement? If she likes me, she just doesn't know it yet.
And how do you know that she likes you? She's screaming at
the
top
for
of
help.
her
She's screaming for help.
My help. Yeah, my emotional help.
Right. She's in love with me.
Yeah, dude. If a girl likes you and she's anything worth pursuing, you shouldn't have to chase her. You should both
but
that's psychotic, and that's like very much like languages my ex would use is.
But I do think that men do like to prey and women like to be preyed on.
I like how you said prayed and
Prayed.
not pursued.
No, preyed. You heard what I said.
I personally kind of hate that shit. I don't.
I hate it, but
I don't
think
know.
it's unavoidable within constraints.
I always avoid it. In fact, men who want to chase me, I'm a dead rabbit on like the side of the road.
I will say my mom really hammered it in me that like I need to let men chase me.
I mean,
and then I kind of just waited around and nobody chased me. And I was like looking behind me like, all right, boys, still here. If anyone got a head start.
No, it has to be genuine.
Yeah, that'll never. I'm not hard to get.
Yeah.
You know?
I would say it's not a matter of length length of time. It's a matter of, are you meeting each other halfway? That's how I think a courtship should go. I think like you take a step, she takes a step, you take a step. If it's like this, that's ideal. If she's moving a little slower, then you can keep going and she still needs to meet you in the middle. But if she's just here and you're going all the way over that halfway line, you're just a cuck.
If a girl leaves Boston at 10 a.m. and she's going 45 miles an hour,
yeah.
How long should you keep her tied up in your basement? Girl math.
Grow up.
Grow up.
Yeah. Is that a sufficient answer? Like,
I mean, it wasn't a sufficient
gross.
question.
Yeah. Like, how long should you chase a girl? It sounds like you're Delulu and she's like messing with you.
Or she's like not answering his texts.
In which case she like doesn't like you.
Him. Like doesn't.
I think it works both ways. If someone's being inconsistent, I take the he's just not that into you thing. I always round down to 0. I'm like, if someone's not being direct with me, bye-bye. If I have to guess if you like me or not, I will say you don't like me. I just think that the whole women liking to be chased thing is like, it's like when one woman likes something weird in bed and then guys go around just doing that thing willy-nilly without asking. Like if someone likes being choked in bed, right? And then you just go around. It's like if a girl likes being chased, then guys assume that all girls want to be chased. And it's like this rom-com thing. Like men love rom-coms.
Well, rom-coms did sort of fuck us up.
Yeah.
Also, that just reminds me of one time I had one of those boyfriends that like I had to train him to be like good at sex and like, but he was such a sweet boy, maybe the best boyfriend I ever had until this current one.
I know to which one you were referring.
Do you?
Yeah.
And I was like, be a little more aggressive in sex. And then one day we were just sitting around and he just went, and I went, hello? And he was like, I went, why did you just slap me in the face? He was like, I thought we were going to start, like we were like fully clothed, like getting ready to leave the house.
Not even naked, not even fucking.
No, like no sexual energy.
He's drinking a smoothie.
And he was like, I'm so sorry. I was like, what's wrong with you?
You pull out a taser and then you both come. Like, most healthy sexual relationship I've ever had.
I guess to wrap it up. Oh, I guess I should diagnose you if I think you're the problem or not.
You're biased. This isn't fair.
Well, nothing's fair in love and sex.
Boy.
I think you
don't you like love Dostoevsky or something?
Like Russian authors?
Yeah.
I can't even say his name. Dostoevsky.
All right, diagnose me.
I think that you're not really the problem.
I know it pains you to say that.
I think actually what we're seeing here is you can seem on the surface avoidant, but really you're just like upfront about being kind of a lone soldier.
Yeah, for sure.
Like you
and
just,
I mean it. And I don't want to be chased.
Yeah, you don't actually want to be chased. You're not saying it for attention.
No.
And
I do stand-up comedy. I already
right, getting attention.
Yeah, and lap dance.
And
like I don't need.
You're like, I do stand-up comedy and I take my top off for money. I'm getting attention.
I'm screaming.
Not the one
attention.
you want.
From strangers, which are the only people I care about.
Yeah, but I do think that it's interesting because you are such a like caring person deep down. Don't
tell anyone this.
But so I'm curious to see how the rest of your dating life transpires because like I you've said to me you don't ever want to like get married or live with a partner or anything like that.
I just don't think it's possible for me, but we'll see.
I think you're going to end up in like a polycule.
No, fuck that. Those people suck. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
I've said it before.
I will say it so that
I've
Steph does not have to. I would... Like, the only way I'm going to be in a polycule is if they promise me it will end in a mass suicide.
As if it's like a Jonestown situation.
That's it.
Anything you want to plug?
Yes. You can follow me on the socials on Save Gracie Canaan. Save Gracie Canaan. And then also, can I plug like an upcoming project?
Yeah.
So I talked about my dancing experience. I'm actually really psyched to be writing, producing, and starring in a short film. So it's a comedy short film, takes place in a lap dance club. I'm super excited. So I'm going to be putting out a Kickstarter and asking everyone for money, all in 20s in my G-string. Mm-hmm. And so just...
You're only allowed to plug this if you cast me in it, by the way.
No, you've been bumped so many times. I've really tried to. And then the only thing that was open was like...
Russian
like a
whore.
Yeah, like person who has English as a second language. And I'm like, if I have cast you as that, I'm going to get fucking canceled. You can be a PA. You just rolled. Yes. You'd be the sluttiest PA ever. You just like working
I'm
on
still wearing the lap dance costume. They're like, you're not in the film.
You have like a headset and like a leotard. Anyway, look out for that. Please follow me. Please give me money. I really need this. All right.
All right. Well, bye.
Love you.
Love you.